Good morning, Spain. How lovely to have you with us once again here in our studios at Hard Rock Hotel Marbella. We have a lovely program lined up. The weather is glorious and we're making the most of it. Today we're going to be talking about how to just settle back down after the Easter madness. We're looking at another simplified Spanish recipe with Chef Nick. Our astrologer Lady B is back in the house. Top non-fiction best-selling books, following up from learning to swim as an adult, what it means to be an adult and adulting, this and so much more. So settle in because we're about to start. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Isn't it nice to be back? All had a lovely Easter?
Yeah, really nice.
How was your first Easter in Spain?
Do you know what? It's really different to England. England's very, Easter bunny. It's very soft.
Yeah.
Sweets, chocolates. Easter hunt in the garden. Here, I find it much heavier here. Much more serious. Yeah, more serious. Yeah.
And morose.
Yeah.
Yes, I had a lot of feedback from our coverage of Easter in Spain from last week, and the main consensus is it's scary and very solemn, and that's why we say it's not normal to walk around wishing people happy Easter when you're in Spain, because there's nothing happy about it. However, we are now here and recovering. It is kind of like not an anticlimax, but like wow.
Quite intense.
Quite intense.
I know. So do you know what? With that in mind, we thought we would take a moment just to have a little breathing relaxation before we all started.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea.
I know.
It's like
So we just thought we'll all take a nice comfortable position.
Okay.
Just close the eyes down. Take a lovely deep inhale for 3. 1, 2, 3. Think of all the positivity, and then exhale all the negativity. Imagine a gorgeous warm light surrounding your body, going up your arms, into your chest, into your heart, down through the legs, into the toes. Take a nice inhale, all that warmth and light around you, and exhale. And when you're breathing, we're going to imagine some lovely affirmations for the day. So as we inhale, you think of I am positive, I am worthy, I am full of love, full of kindness. And when you exhale, you breathe out all that stress, all that tension, and you think of all that gorgeous warmth and positivity around you. And when you open your eyes, you want to bring all that into your day.
that was nice.
Lovely.
Look how quiet we all are. Good morning, Spain.
Good morning, everyone.
That really is a whole,
Thank you, Kate.
just a few seconds. What a difference.
That was so lovely and relaxing, and it's so in line with the start of the astrological new year, which is Aries season. So after Easter, we have like a new season coming in with astrology, so it fits perfectly.
I love that.
And it really is
Love
like just
that.
so calming. And it's funny when you say the new season starting like with Easter and Aries, kind of makes sense to me that the new year should start, as some say,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
when spring and all the birth, and that we somewhere this Gregorian calendar had their own plans, but it's quite unnatural.
Yeah.
But all astrologers do believe and centre themselves on New Year starting now with lambs and plans.
I agree.
And the weather, because January is so
that's
dark and
gorgeous.
heavy, and
Exactly.
you don't feel like I want to set intentions.
But it comes from the Gregorian
It does,
calendar.
it
That
does,
was a
it
person
does.
who said, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
12 months and we'll do it this way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually
feel
feel
right.
right.
No.
But as you
Exactly.
say, this is lovely for like a nice little cleanse, isn't it? Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can get on with our Monday. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning, Nicole.
How nice that you're an Aries and Lady B is going to evaluate you.
Feeling under pressure.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure.
Don't tell everyone my secrets, please. My mum might watch this.
Then it's good. Good. Give us a lowdown. What can we expect from our Holly?
Right, so we're in Aries season. So Aries is the first astrological sign. So you're almost like the baby of the zodiac, which has strengths and it has weaknesses. So obviously you're very bold, like taking risks, ambitious, self-assured. Aries are always very dynamic and very sort of get stuck in. But you're quite fiery. Yeah, the ram. You get stuck in. But then the flip side, because it is the first sign, They also can be impatient and sometimes quite childlike. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not right, I'm not doing it, you know, rather than the ones further down the, you know, the calendar. So they are very, very strong, very fiery, but very, you know, have a lot of nice traits. So, I mean, are you quite bold and ambitious, do you think?
Yeah, very ambitious, adventurous.
Yeah, and driven.
And impatient.
Yeah,
And childlike.
that is all of the above.
Nailed it.
Thank you, yeah.
They're always good to have on your team because they are very adventurous. So say if you're, you know, very often their opposite sign is Libra. So with Libra, is a really nice balance because they're very often friends, because Libra is very sort of tactful, very balanced, likes harmony, and Aries is completely not like that. So Aries like, get stuck in, go for it. And then with their friendships, they bring a lot of the traits. A lot of marriages are Aries and Libra because they have the balance that the other doesn't have. So Libra might not want to put, you know, share their opinion, whereas an Aries, I don't like it, get stuck in, and they have no problems about, you know, saying how they feel. Also, Aries get on with other fire signs. So Hannah and I are Leo. So you have Leo, Aries and Sagittarius. And very often I have a lot of female friends that are Aries because it kind of goes with the whole like, yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. And it fuels you on.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
you
so-
cheer each other on, and you both want to go for it.
Yeah.
If you're with someone that doesn't want to do stuff, it can be difficult.
drags
So
you
it's nice
down.
to be around similar types of people.
So our friend Emma that organised our India trip, which I'm sure you've
I was
spoken
going to
about,
say,
she's Aries.
I was going to
Right.
say that we have talked with Hannah about it, but you were also
Yes.
on that magnificent sisterhood journey to
It was
India,
amazing. It was
tonight to
amazing.
Goa. I mean,
Yeah.
well done, congratulations.
you.
We're
Oh.
equally as proud of you as Hannah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, but a lot of the girls were Aries on that trip because it's the adventure, it's the spirit, it's getting stuck in, it's like doing stuff for charity, making a difference. And because they're at the start of the whole zodiac, it's that kind of, there's almost an innocence about it. Like, why can't I do it? And it's a lovely trait to have as a friend. So if you're not quite so self-assured, linking to Hannah's book, because they were all very Aryan traits,
Yeah.
it's, you know, the confidence book. It's all lovely that it's just nice to have them in your life because they're very kind of upbeat and, you know, no fear. So it's good, it's lovely. So hello, welcome.
Thank you for saying those
Are
lovely
men and
things.
women the same? Because they tend to be slight differences,
They
no,
are-
in each
yeah,
of the signs.
Yeah, they are different actually. They are different. I think the women can be more feisty. Aries men very often are quite visionary, quite good in business. You know, a lot of people who are Aries, you know, they don't like working for other people, the men particularly. So I think there are differences, but I think the men are probably a bit more chilled. The Aries women are just, you know, a bit more fiery. So there are differences. But again, even I have men that are Aries friends, and they're great friends because like there's no limits. So if you like want to do something, yeah, we can do it. And I think that's quite nice energy to have in your life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And in general, for everybody else at this time of year, any guidance, any tips, any things we should be doing?
I think for me as an astrologer, I think because for us it's the start of the new year, so it's nice to actually set your intentions now. And I think because of the weather and the season, and you know the lambs are being born, and we've just come out of Easter, I think this is for me a good time to set your intentions. So when people make New Year's resolutions in January, for me there's almost a bit of conflict because it's dark and it's I mean the weather's probably better here than it is in England, but it's dark and it's dark nights, and it doesn't sort of align with setting your intentions for what do I want from this year, what do I want to release, where do I want to go, what do I want to achieve. So for me, now is a nice time to actually view this as your what do I want from this year. This is your new year, this is your new beginning, and set them now, because everything around you is sort of coming alive and birthing, and nature's coming alive. So I think this is the time for me, for people to think, right, what do I want now, what do I want to achieve by the end of the year. This is the start.
Yeah, it makes sense that it's
Yeah.
now as
It-
opposed
it-
to
it
January.
does.
doesn't
It does with
really
nature.
sits
The
well,
more I think
yeah.
about it, the more sense
Yeah.
it makes. So wherever you start your year, now with the spring
Yeah, it's perfect.
lambs
Yeah.
bounding
And the
everything.
and the flowers and the plants, nature it's just nature's beginning again and reawakening. So it makes sense that we kind of follow that path and we reawaken.
Wonderful. And happy birthday month to you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. It's been a ball.
Have you found yourself identifying then
Yes,
wholly
I have a
with
lot of Aries friends. We've got that drive for life, and we like to go travelling together and
because
celebrating
you're also very
together.
bold and very
Yeah.
travelling like these two.
Because even
Yeah.
when it's my birthday, I'm like, it just feels like another day, because every day is a celebration. It feels like those
that's
vibes.
lovely though.
Lovely.
What a way to live
Aw.
your life. It's true, Aries do have a lot of Aries friends as well. because you fuel each other. So it
I
works.
think so.
Yeah.
So it's like a
A
Duracell
force to
bunny.
be reckoned with.
They definitely are. Powerful women.
And it's right about the Leos
Yeah.
as well. My husband's a Leo. We've got a lot
a lot of
energy
energy
between us.
Oh, I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
It's really
Thank
nice.
you.
Wonderful.
for the
Thank you so
confirmation.
much.
Thank you for having
And
me.
lovely to have you back in the program. Lovely to have you back from your travels.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, really, both
Really
of you,
lovely.
well done. The money keeps coming in. You've raised a fortune, and instead of a classroom, it's now a building.
Yeah,
A whole
amazing,
block.
a whole block.
Yeah.
A whole
Sisterhood
block,
block.
sisterhood block.
Yeah. We're very,
Yeah,
I'm
really special.
very proud of us.
Yes, we're very
Definitely.
proud of you
Thank
too.
you, ladies.
Really well done.
That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thanks for having me.
When you think of car or motorbike insurance, think Linea Directa. When you most need your insurance company, Linea Directa are there for you. With tow trucks, courtesy car, mechanics, legal advice, even overnight stay in a hotel if you need it. There's a whole department dedicated to us Brits with people who speak English there to help us. If you're looking for an insurance policy that really takes all your needs into consideration whilst you're driving in Spain, then Linea Directa really is the company for you. Why don't you give them a call? 952 14 78 34 or contact them online. A jewel on the coast of Spain, the Canary Islands of volcanic origin offers a multitude of beaches where you can sunbathe, practice water sports and discover surprising nature. And best of all, the temperatures are pleasant all year round. 265 kilometers of beaches and volcanic seabeds that will amaze you with their flora and marine fauna. Virgin beaches with infinite dunes, black sand, natural pools. This and much more are the Canary Islands, in the heart of the Atlantic Ocean. Many of its places have their own special charm. The Islote de Lobos in Fuerteventura, the Mas Palomas Dunes in Gran Canaria, and the island La Graciosa in Lanzarote. In the Canary Islands, you will find one of the most biodiverse regions in the world. If you dare to visit them, get ready to see volcanoes, ancient forests, and impressive cliffs.
Are you with me? Are you with me?
There truly is so much to see and so much to do. The Canary Islands, something for everyone.
Today we thought we'd talk about mouth taping. So I'm super excited.
Me too. What is it? It sounds actually kinky or scary.
it's kinky.
I'm
No?
thinking kinky.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
Tell me the
torture,
kinky stories.
I want to hear. What is mouth taping?
As you
Few
say,
people, including myself, that probably could do with it.
but do you know what? It's super interesting actually, ladies, because now it's kind of being seen as more a bit of a fashion. So kind of like, the ladies that go to Pilates or like the routine, but it's actually amazing for athletes. So a lot of them are using it, and I'm sure they have for a long, long time, but it recently came to interest of me just because my partner started wearing it because he wanted to kind of trial it for his clients and everything. And it is honestly incredible. Then I started looking more into it, just saying for deep sleep. And it's funny because we've just come from doing some breathing, getting us all nice and relaxed. And apparently it is amazing for that. Say if someone can't have a good sleep, so they want to have more of a deep relaxation.
So what does it do?
So obviously you do tape. So we'll do a little, let me show you ladies. So we'll just rip it here.
Live demonstration.
So before you go to bed, you basically tape over your lips. So I know it does look
Stretchy,
quite
right?
You're not going to be
scary.
able to talk afterwards.
I know. So
Okay. Wow.
And the idea is so you don't use your mouth at all, or does it no, so you don't use your mouth at all?
don't use your mouth at all. So you're just breathing through your nostrils. And so they say that obviously because you're having to really control your breathing and you're just breathing through your nose, that it really does help
Regulates. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, when you do have that really high intensity exercise, that when it gets to those points that you're, really suffering, like for example in Bikram yoga, you can only breathe through your nose. So it really helps with that, obviously when you do get to
So
those higher
training
intensities.
basically to breathe through your
Yeah.
nose. I have actually heard that mouth breathing causes quite a few problems that I hadn't realised that come through this breathing. I can't think what they are now, but I have heard that
Like
if
the dry
you,
mouth.
The jawline.
and your jawline,
Yeah.
exactly for
Yeah.
And
This.
you're snoring as well.
Exactly.
I tried the
Yeah.
tape, but
Yeah.
I used, you know, the muscle tape.
Yes.
I've used the
Oh,
bright.
you mean just
fluorescent
sellotape, like
pin.
yeah, tape, like the old-fashioned
tape.
band
It's the
days.
same, it's the same stuff.
Yeah.
Because it peels off easy, you know.
Yeah.
But I tried it just because I was going away with the girls on holiday, and I was like, I do not want to be
don't
snoring
want
on
to be
holiday.
snoring.
And I liked it because it was the nasal breath, and I think it's
Sounds like
better
a calming,
sleep.
isn't
And
it?
it
Your
worked?
mouth's not dry, and
You didn't feel like
Yeah.
panicked that you couldn't
I
get
was
in
a bit
enough
nervous,
oxygen.
but once I just settled into it, I was actually
So did it
relaxed.
work? Did
Yeah,
it
did work.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
Just
did you
like that.
feel? Just like you slept better or less?
I just felt refreshed,
horrible mouth
like
in the
I'd had
morning.
good,
Yeah.
good breathing, because the nose is more for your head, isn't
Yeah.
it? And I think the mouth is not actually refreshing your head.
No.
Is what I understood. I'm just guessing, but
Yeah.
that's my
No, the air
experience
goes down
of it.
and round as opposed to going up and
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
and
It
round.
was funny, but then I went on the girls' trip, and I was like, I brought my tape with me.
I love that.
And one of the other girls had it as well. So it is
Really?
a craze at the moment.
Wow.
And I suppose
Fair.
that's quite opposite to your swimming because you're doing
Lots
more
of
mouth
breath-
breathing, aren't you?
breath
Yeah,
through the
so,
mouth, yeah.
that's quite good.
But
to
breathing
change.
is an interesting topic, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
you need to breathe well. So having the mouth closed is helping. And I hadn't thought of it like you hadn't, Nicole. I hadn't been thinking about this, but it's a new information come through, isn't
Yeah.
Yeah,
it?
definitely. As you said, there's nothing dangerous to it as long as you haven't got severe sinusitis or
Yeah.
something at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, or allergies. This is what I was thinking. Like, so do you have to kind of think about clearing your nose a lot more and like, you know, is there extra mouth?
I think, as you
Spray,
say, if
nose
you
sprays.
do have problems with, as you say, breathing or, you know, allergies, then maybe just check with your doctor before you do it, because obviously you don't want any
But
complications.
it probably actually would help. I mean, I do a
think
lot
longer
of
term,
mouth
yeah.
breathing, I realise, because it's easier. You know, it is actually easier. But
Yeah.
maybe that would actually help train to use the nose, which would keep it clearer if we used it more often.
Exactly. And I think it is really good because, you know, it really does help you to kind of, to regulate it. Then when you do go into a more challenging situation, that you can just be like, right, okay, practice what you are doing kind of every day in your sleep as well. And then you do come out, like so many people say that they do come out feeling so much more refreshed. I guess, like as you say, like you don't have that dry mouth when you wake up, and you have that more like really deep sleep relaxation. So I definitely think that everyone should give them a try.
I have
that's
to
for
try
sure.
it.
Yeah,
I
okay, I'm
haven't
gonna give
yet.
it a go.
I think I'm so used to like with exercise and like with swimming and, you know, and meditation, breath work, and, you know, you really release so much from your mouth. You know, you just got to do that big nasal, you know, inhale, and you exhale out your mouth. And I always get so much out of that. Like when I'm at home, like I always take a deep breath and exhale out of my mouth. So it's such a mindset change for me to think about just like it, you know, I can feel it slowing me down if I just think about that breath only through the nose.
Even
Probably
this
means
morning
I
when we
just need it.
started, we started off with those few breaths, and when we're all here racing since like 5 this morning, and you're getting, then you're starting, and just those few minutes, even now I still feel that it brought me down to just like an acceptable enthusiasm level, as opposed, do you know, because it's so easy
to that
to just get
nervousness.
that,
Hyper.
and that hyper,
Ventilating.
and then we're not breathing or
And then,
anything.
you're shallow breathing at
Exactly.
that point. Yeah.
Wired to the moon.
Exactly. So I definitely, even from the breathing we did with you this morning, still excited, still enthusiastic, just a little
Grounded.
bit
Calmer.
a little bit calmer.
But do you know what? Like so many people, like as I say, like footballers are using them. People that are running, like, and it's funny because so many
But
people
you're
that
using
I
them
know.
at night time to sleep,
Yeah.
not while you're doing the exercise.
Well, do you know what? Some people are now. So it's really
Oh,
interesting.
wow.
Like the
Okay.
nasal ones,
I
a
don't know
lot
if
of
I could do
people
that.
are doing it with the nasals.
Okay.
And some people do want to trial them when they are doing like more like kind of intense, because just to see like, you know, because my partner say he's doing them to train for like the marathons and everything. And since he's been using the mouth tape, his pulsations have actually, is it gone down? Gone down
I would
or gone
imagine
up?
so, right? Because you wouldn't
Yeah.
want them to be too high.
No, but yeah, so as you say, so he's been able to regulate his breathing so much more just through it. So I think it is super interesting on like an athlete, whether or not you want it for a bit of a trend, but also for breathing and snoring.
And for sleeping and snoring.
Exactly.
And the good old
If you've got a
snoring.
snorer, definitely get one.
So it works. So Holly didn't snore. No one kicked her out of the bedroom. It was work. Jose's happy. So we're like, we're all doing good, and we'll give it a go.
Exactly.
At least
Definitely-
once.
Definitely
try
try
it
it.
once. I'll just
Exactly.
borrow one of yours.
Exactly.
You don't have to buy a pack.
Exactly. Give you the feedback next week.
No, I love it. I want those black ones though. I
Yeah,
want the kinky
exactly.
ones.
Exactly. So even afterwards, still keep it to the kinky.
South Central dancing like no.
and good morning Spain. Today we're going to be making risotto de guisantes y bacon. Nice risotto with pea and bacon. Really nice dish this. Great flavours, super easy. Got a pan on, nothing inside it, on a high heat, and I'm going to try and render the fat of this bacon. You want to hear that sizzle straight away. Get all that gorgeous fat that's coming off it, and that's going to help us later on. Got an onion here. I'm going to really finely dice that, so just cutting one way. And then a few slices down. Take your time with this. And then chop. Get down to the end. We can slice this too. Keeping an eye on that bacon. I'm going to sweat it out. And get this crispiness going. That's going to give us some fantastic flavour later on. It's one of these ones you've just got to be a bit patient, just moving the bacon around, seeing that golden crisp, that's what we're looking for. Onions ready to go. Also going to put in a clove of garlic. Just take off the tip there. And again, I want to do just some nice slices, thin as you can. Take your time, let the knife do the work. You hear that bacon popping, that means we're almost there. Right, let's take that bacon out. Try and keep as much oil as we can in the pan. And we'll go straight in with our onions and garlic. Right, let's get some seasoning on this. Be careful with your salt. Obviously with the bacon, that's got a lot of salt in it, so it's going to be quite salty already. And we're picking up all that gorgeous flavour from the oil. So just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to help things dry along. I'm going to use this time now just to add a couple of pieces of bay leaf and a piece of rosemary. Just cook this out now. I want to sweat off these onions. If you feel the pan's a little bit too dry, don't worry, add a bit more oil. So let's cook these onions out a little bit. So these onions are nice and sweated off now. You can see they're nice and soft. Same temperature with my pan now, just going to sort of a medium to low heat. And we're going to add in our risotto rice. Think of it like a cup as a portion. So I'm just doing a little sprinkle because I don't want too much for me. Let's wake this rice up. So really important this, same dry pan. I'm just bringing this rice up to temperature, moving it around, waking it up. So before I'm adding any stock or white wine, I'm putting the rice in first with nothing in it, just bringing it up to temperature. You should almost constantly moving around, and then we're ready for our stock. We could go white wine with this, you could go straight stock, whatever you feel. I've got a little bit of chicken stock with this, and we're just going to keep feeding the risotto rice bit by bit. So moving it around, we'll see this rice will just suck all this up. We'll bring up the temperature of the pan a little bit, again just moving, same direction, so that the starch releases equally. This is one we have to be patient with. It'd be very easy now just to throw in all the water and then we've got to stand there and stir and stir and stir. But it's better we just do it bit by bit, take your time with it, let it suck up all the rice, all the water, and then add some more stock or some more water if you want. can see now it needs a bit more feeding, so another splash. And back to it. So we can see the risotto now has changed colour. I'm just going to do our final touches. Risotto rice is almost finished, so I'm just going to take out these bay leaves and the pieces of rosemary. They've done their job now. They've given some really nice background flavour. If there's some little strings of rosemary, do not worry. That's going to taste great. So we're going to finish this off now. Let's just keep feeding this rice. We don't want it to be dry, but we're going to finish in all our last bits. So that bacon needs to go back in. And our fantastic peas. A little bit of cream. Let that all come together. We are almost there now. We can see everything's come together. It's time to just do the last bits, give it a little taste, check the seasoning on this. That rosemary just really gives some lovely flavour. A bit more pepper, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a touch more cream to loosen everything up. This is fantastic. This is ready to go now. I always like to just turn everything off and just finish off as it cools down a bit. There's a bit of cheese, some lovely chopped chives here. Just adding them in straight at the end. Give that punch, and we are ready to go. Let's plate up. So I'm going to take a nice couple of spoonfuls of this risotto. Finishing touch is always important, so a little bit more chives, bunch of rockets. It's going to give that great peppery flavour too. Need some colour in there, so just a couple of cherry tomatoes, always going to help this. A little bit of Parmesan. Finish this off, a bit of seasoning. And a tiny bit of zest of lemon, it's just going to really help cut through that cream. And that is my risotto with peas and bacon. Thank you very much and good morning. Let's get into this. Best bit, I'd say. Everything. So lovely. Such a good combo. And those little finishing touches at the end, that bit of extra Parmesan and zest of lemon. Thank you very much. And good morning.
It's funny how aged care and age concern groups all start as of 55 years plus. Now, I don't see myself as aged, and sometimes I don't even feel that I'm very grown up, and we're going to be talking about this with our lovely 55 plus wellness editor, Alice.
Hello, good
When
morning.
are we adults?
When are we adults?
Never.
When
Right?
no, because adulting, we talk about adulting, and it's not like a, when do you become an adult?
Yeah,
No?
well, not at 18 or the government sort of legal age, but this was from a report that there's a trend in, I think they're reporting on Texas, but a lot of 18-year-olds around that age are going to adulting courses. It's like a trend in courses and self-learning. So things like sewing a button on and changing a tire, and but it all depends on your upbringing, doesn't it? I mean, some if your parents, I think I was reading, my parents had a lot of debt, so they instilled a lot of financial literacy in me. But financial literacy is like a huge thing that people at 18 are looking into, because at school you're not getting.
Now this is something, I'm not going to be conspiratorial, however, something that we all need to do is not taught at school, and yet our whole future depends on us being able to balance an account, save, invest, insurance, as we were talking about, getting, say, like funeral plans. All this comes from learning something that we have never been taught.
And so the adulting classes,
so
I think, could be for anyone. It doesn't have to just be 18-year-olds. I mean, I definitely don't know how to change a tire. I can have a stab at sewing a button on, and that's not so bad, because I definitely did sewing at school. So I remember there's like a particular stitch that I remember. But yeah,
I don't think they do that anymore.
No.
The sewing at school.
I don't think so, because I did home economics, which they don't do anymore.
Do they not?
We also had basic sewing classes, and things like that. But I think it's getting less. But we never had economic advice.
It's like
I
a
didn't
rite
read
of
it.
passage, though, isn't it, for boys and girls to become that man and the woman?
Yeah.
Because abroad they have like ceremonies for this, don't they? To say, right, now we're going into adulthood.
Yeah, the
and now's the
cultural-
time. Come on.
Yeah.
In the Jewish religion, it's
Try your
13.
best.
That's when you become a man, and you have to start taking on, I suppose, responsibilities and self-consciousness, awareness, really.
Yeah.
And a lot depends on your family.
It really does.
Because there are some very well-off families that install great values in their children, and others that children have no idea how to boil an egg.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, boiling an egg. And I remember, because, we've talked before about my mum being quite ill, I actually had like what I always called like a surrogate family. I'd give their mum like Mother's Day cards and stuff, because I learned so much from this family. And their dad was a doctor. He always taught his kids like in science terms. So like boiling an egg was all about the heat of the water and the movement of the water and things like that. So I always learned through them, but I could relate to these adulting courses, because certainly, 18, having to sign a power of attorney, like I then had to, I was still a mess trying to figure out financial literacy, because actually I was doing it for my mum. Actually, I then wasn't able to focus on my own skills for myself. So I relate to all of this. I could totally do some adulting courses, and
I think I should too, because even though I am well into my adulthood, I left home at 18, and I remember my dad's mum writing me a 24-page letter of knowing that I was so spoiled as a child that I wouldn't know how to boil an egg or how to wash it.
Oh,
And she
really?
sent me a whole thing of how to boil an egg, how before I went to work to put my underwear and things in the bathtub, leave it soaking. But I'm literally shot by shot how to do it. She was so aware that I was so unaware, having made this enormous step of going to live on my own. And I feel that not having had any adult guidance as of 18 is why I'm still so very unprepared in many ways, because I never got that. Even in putting makeup on or routine of makeup, of nighttime rituals. Do you know what I mean? I missed a lot of that growing up as an adult.
And the grandmothers is a great thing. I think I learned so much from my grandmothers. Like any dishes that I can cook were from my grandmother. The sewing stuff, both of my grandmothers were seamstresses, and I wouldn't have been able to do without them. I think about my daughter with no grandmother, and it's like, it's such a good influence. And you've had that exact same thing where they've tried to, even, personal hygiene. My grandmother was the one like teaching me about that as a child more than anything. People have different experiences, and I remember reading magazines and trying to teach myself through magazines stuff that usually like your mum might teach you and things like that. But no, I love the idea. I think probably it will actually.
Are there
develop
courses
beyond
as such?
Texas.
Do we know of any actual courses that people could go to? Because there's a very good idea.
Yeah, I think here it's definitely would be a great idea.
It looks like another project that
everywhere
we're
you
going
go.
to be setting up, because it really sounds like a great idea, having that basics of balancing books, investments.
But even from younger than 18, I think, like we're talking about school, like 14, 15, 16, all these real vocational life skills, they're so important.
I wonder if in the schools now, you've got younger kids, do they teach anything like that in schools now?
They do, yeah, a little bit. My children are in a lower school, and they do teach them all about personal hygiene and lots of maths, obviously, but they're talking about how to save and stuff like that.
Really? They are?
That's
really
my
good.
9-year-old, so
Yeah.
they're thinking about it.
that's
And
really good.
They've got they've made a shoebox and a tick sheet of they want to save each week €10.
That's really
I don't know
good.
how they're going to do
Oh,
that.
Oh, well, that's
either,
very
but
good
they're
idea.
thinking
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
I'm trying to do that with Nyla, my daughter, at the moment, where if she does, like, she helps me with the dishwasher, she gets €1, and we're kind of like on and off for it. I need to like
really
really
good.
solidify the plan, but the idea, because I saw this on an Instagram post, you then have a book, and it will be like she'll count it at the end of the month, and then I'll take rent, like bills, and then she has what's left, and then save and spend. So even from the age of like 4 or 5, doing that kind
But that's
of
nice, because then a lot of
awareness.
parents who I've seen also from the socials, but they then take that money that they've taken from the rent and give it back to them, built up for a deposit on something
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on, kind of thing.
Put it in the stock market. Well, that's not the
Or
American stock
whatever.
market right now, but yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, it's very interesting. But I'm trying to think what courses I would have to do.
I think like every like a refresh as well. Everything is always good to do though. There isn't like, even if
Yeah.
you do know certain things, but just to kind of run over them and like, you know, because you never know, you may learn new things or you may, I don't know, experience something different. So I think
I'd like a list.
yeah.
I'd like an adulting list. And if
Yeah.
I had that list and I could go through it and say,
Oh yeah.
tick,
I'm
tick,
being an
tick.
adult today.
What's that? Tick, tick. But that would help, because sometimes there's even like the tax payments, obligations in that respect. I mean, there's so many different things
Yeah.
to keep an eye on. So maybe
Get it on
even
the
just having an
calendar.
adult list of things that one should know. At least we can see where we are on the
I know.
adulting.
I know.
Oh.
Where-
One thing I learned the other day is how to catch a pigeon.
Oh,
And I
talent.
actually felt like, wow, I'm so ignorant that I don't know how to catch a pigeon. So I had this racing pigeon that appeared on our terrace, a next door terrace, and it's been just pooping on our terraces for 2 months. It's not wild, right? It needs a home. It's trying to, you know, it got
domestic.
lost in the storm. Had these 2 tags. I posted it on Facebook. I was like, please help, you know, and everyone was like, it's call this vet, you know, call Soprona. It just needs some food and it will go away in a few days. It didn't. It was just flying away. My dog, huge dog, chased it away. It came back. And, you know, I liked it at first because it's a beautiful, beautiful bird. But then after a while, it literally pooped over everything. My next door neighbour's like
And
depressed.
unfortunately, they're really not
Clean.
hygienic,
Yeah,
clean,
it had
and they have a
fleas.
very, very
Yeah.
strong smell.
Yeah.
I also have had a pigeon, not such a pretty one, and not a racing pigeon.
Just a pigeon.
Just a pigeon. Lay eggs on my terrace and it's taken over. He can't go out. They're bigger than he is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them to go,
Yeah.
but at the same time being a mother, not wanting
To hurt
to
it. or
hurt
what
it
can
and
you
his
do
family.
with it?
So it's a very
Yeah, I mean,
precarious pigeon situation.
After a month of this, though, I got to the end and I thought I might have to terminate this pigeon. Like, it's not going to survive here. It's not getting any, do you know what I mean? It's not getting any food. It's pooping everywhere. It's me or you at this point, because I'm paying $1,700 a month as a single mum, and I don't have my terrace anymore. You know, it's like not okay. So I was at that point, but really, I just wanted someone to
How
help
you
me.
learned to get him. How did you
So
do
I
it?
posted it on Facebook again, and everyone was like, "How dare you want to kill a pigeon? If you can catch it, you know, if you can catch it, you don't have to kill it." I was like, "Okay, you're taking this too far." Actually, I just asked for help, but I just let you guys know I'm at my limits with this pigeon. And luckily, a local racing pigeon breeder called me and was like, "You know, I can come and have a look and see." And he has pigeons, and he came, and I thought, "What's he going to do?" And he actually came with a cat flap with a piece of string. I was like, okay, I could have done that then, I suppose. I'm not that adult that I've thought of this solution. I'm not that male gendered that I've thought that, oh, get this trap and da-da-da. Anyway, but then there was this cat there and my dog there, and he thought the pigeon wasn't going to come back, and then finally it came, and then he was like, whoa, because it's a beautiful pigeon, and he's a pigeon man, right? So then he got the seeds, and like I've got seeds all over my terrace right now. That's my next problem. Put them out, and then it came on the terrace, and what he got was he got the string and he made a noose.
Oh gosh,
Right.
that sounds scary.
Gosh, it
Well,
does,
no,
doesn't
but
it?
it caught the pigeon, and the pigeon's now getting defleed, and it's getting everything it needs, and it's in a nice home with someone who loves it. So yeah, he put the seeds down and he caught it. He waited for it to stand on it. He caught it, you know, for that
Adulting
moment.
skills we didn't even know we needed.
I'm sure it was scary for that moment, but my dog chasing it every day was also scary. It was a nervous pigeon. It wasn't happy, you know, in its situation. So he got it, and he was like, wow, it's so beautiful. And it's a girl. Look at her slopey. You know, it's a girl because it's got slopey head. Checked it for fleas. And now I know how to do all that. So that was my adulting 101, pigeon catching.
Very proud of you.
Thank you. I didn't catch it, I just learned. But yeah.
Something completely different.
It was
though,
the
isn't
most-
it?
You didn't go to the, like, off with its head. You did go to the extreme to find someone to help you.
Yeah.
And it shows asking for help works.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to reach that extreme point to
Exactly.
get the help.
The line in the sand.
Exactly.
And that's
that
funny,
was
actually.
it.
Sometimes
It was the
it's
last-
funny. In life, we wait till the extreme until we actually can find that
But
solution.
it's the motivating thing. And like, I mean, you know, I actually thought it was like with all everyone replying on my Facebook post, I was like, but none of you are offering to help. You know, this guy actually cares, and he's come and got the pigeon. So
It's just finding the right
move
person.
on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the right
no. So I
moment.
was so, and it was the most exhilarating thing, the suspense of watching this pigeon and just waiting until it trod on it, and then he was like.
How fun is that? Well, thank you very much for sharing that. If you have any stories to share with us about adulting experiences in your life, we would love to hear from you too.
South Central dancing like no.
Linea Directa has come up with a squatter policy for just €24 a year. You don't have to have your home insurance with them. This is a completely separate matter to protect you from squatters. For more information, call 952 147834 or their website, lineadirecta.com. If you love historic architecture, Spain is also the place for you. For example, throughout the whole Principality of Asturias, there are different works of pre-Romanesque architecture. One of them is this church of Santa Maria del Naranco. Have you ever been to Asturias? I have to admit, Asturias is one of my favourite places in Spain because it's so green, the food is awesome, the people are lovely, and the beaches outstanding. I can highly recommend everyone takes a visit at least once in a lifetime.
South Central dancing like no.
Today, I thought I would look at three very different books that are currently in the non-fiction bestseller charts in the UK. Roxy Nafusi's latest book is called Confidence. She's a renowned and respected inspirational speaker who has hosted workshops for some of the biggest corporations in the world. Her bestseller from 2022 was called Manifest and is widely regarded as the must-have guide to manifestation. In her latest book, she teaches us that confidence isn't something that you're born with, it's a skill you can build. Confidence is at the foundation of everything we do. It's the invisible power that protects you to dream bigger, take bold risks, and create a life you truly love. With her trademark warmth, wisdom, and research-backed insights, Roxy will teach you how to transform your mindset and step into your most empowered self. Some of the skills you'll learn from the book is stop trying to be liked by everybody, break free from comparison, and celebrate yourself. She explains that confidence isn't just a feeling, it's a way of being. Whether you're struggling with self-doubt, navigating tough times, or simply ready to unleash your potential, confidence is your roadmap to knowing your worth and living as your boldest, most authentic self. Then we have Spring, the uplifting memoir of springtime joy by Michael Morpurgo, his first book of adult non-fiction in 40 years. Michael has lived on a farm deep in rural Devon for more than 40 years. In Spring, he observes the season unfold around him as fragile new shoots emerge, buds turn to blossom, and grey skies give way to blue. He watches lambs being born on the farm, delights in a fanfare of bluebells in the woods, and sings to the birds, dressed in his wellies and dressing gown. He shares small moments of joy found in the back garden, as well as more dramatic encounters with sparrowhawks, hares, and otters. With new poems and reminiscences about childhood and springs gone by, it's an enchanting memoir of a season from one of the world's best-loved authors. And finally, John and Paul, a love story in songs by Ian Leslie. Described as a majestic biography of two young geniuses who merged their talents to create one of the greatest bodies of music in history. The book begins in 1957 when two teenagers in suburban Liverpool meet and decide to play rock and roll together. It ends 23 years later when one of them is murdered. In between, we see them become global stars, create countless hits, and play a central role in shaping the modern world. Ian Leslie traces the twists and turns of their relationship through the music it produced and offers rich insights into the nature of creativity, collaboration, and human connection. Drawing on recently released footage and recordings, this is a startlingly fresh take on two of the greatest icons in music history. Three very different books. I think you'll agree.
I want all of them.
Do you?
So I love the first one and the third one. Amazing.
Each one, because the second one, although I wasn't quite sure, I love the idea, the thought of the bluebells, crocuses, daffodils, things I really miss living in Spain.
Exactly.
It's actually
really nice.
really basic things like spring with bluebells.
And also I think nice all for different demographics.
Yeah.
So first one I would totally read. Great,
Totally.
love it.
Yeah,
100%.
Totally.
Yeah.
The second one I'm going to get for my mother-in-law because it's her birthday, May the 11th, so coming up.
Lovely.
And it's
That's
and
perfect.
Michael Morpurgo, I know a lot because my kids read all his books.
Yeah.
But I've never read an adult book from him,
No,
so that would be
exactly.
also an interesting take on.
I've never even heard of him.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
interviewed
no.
him. He was children's laureate for
Yeah.
a while. He writes a lot of poetry for children.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing. He's in his
Beautiful
80s.
writer. Yeah,
he's
he's a
been
beautiful
writing for
writer,
most
yeah.
of his
I think it's like
life.
for my grandkids. That
Oh,
sounds really
definitely.
cool.
For children,
Amazing,
amazing
isn't it?
books. Yeah,
Yeah.
really good books.
But I love that, the confidence, because it really is, in the sense it's what you project.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to be small, not shine your own light, to judge, compare.
Definitely.
It's the comparison, I think, can be one of the biggest killjoys.
Yeah,
And also what you
Absolutely.
said about stop needing to be liked by others. I think so many women that I know, even highly successful women, they always struggle with I need to be liked, I need to be popular. And I think that is fueled by the social media addiction, how many likes, many likes, because you're always on show. And I think once you let go of that, everything
Liberating.
is liberating.
It's only when you become yourself that you find your tribe.
Exactly.
And that's when you're
Yeah, and
comfortable.
they cheer you on.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're always just like on the outskirts of someone else's tribe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like finding the people, and you're going to get that if you are your authentic self.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you can't be scared then to lose friends when you're on that journey.
No.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a great place to be.
Oh no,
No,
it's
it
lovely.
is,
Yeah,
it's
no,
lovely.
that's a good
Yeah.
book. I'm going to buy all of them.
And the
Yeah.
third one as well, it sounds really, really interesting as well.
Definitely.
I think that
It's
would be a
such a
good one.
fascinating
I
relationship
didn't
between
immediately
them.
connect it with John and Paul from the
The
Beatles.
Beatles.
Ah,
When you
okay.
said that, I was thinking I was like a gay couple or something. really round around there, which could be. But when you started, it's like, oh, I got it.
Yeah, Liverpool.
All good presents though.
No,
All good,
amazing.
Yeah.
good presents to buy. Yeah.
Definitely,
No,
definitely.
love them.
Well, it's
Thank
really
you.
nice that you watch out for us on the top selling best list
Yes.
of what's going on in books, because each week I get to read at least 3 books.
I'll bring you some
Perfect.
fiction next week.
Thank
How
you.
about that?
Yes.
That's how we do it. South Central doesn't like no.
Linea Directa appreciates just how important our pets are to us, and that's why they brought out one of the most comprehensive insurance policies on the market from just €39.90 a year. Give them a call on 952 147834 or from the website lineadirecta.com. Another great way of experiencing authentic Spain is by doing the Camino de Santiago, or as we say in English, the Way of St. James. This is a network of pilgrimages that lead to the shrine of the Apostle James in the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela, which is in Galicia in northwestern Spain. The best time of year to do this is in spring or September or October when it's not too hot and you don't have to walk it. Cycling is another great option. It's a great opportunity to savor all the regional and traditional dishes at local prices. Following the way of St. James by bike is becoming increasingly popular with pilgrims. If you want to cycle, a mountain bike is recommended because it's light and of course take all your equipment necessary, from helmet, comfortable clothes, suitable footwear to reflectors, and making sure that you have something to protect you from the rain and the sun. 200 kilometers have to be cycled to get your certification of completing the way and get your passport stamp, therefore, at every stage on your way. Best of luck, have fun.
We had such lovely feedback from the Learning to Swim as an Adult segment from last week's programme. Joining us again is our swimming teacher, Holly Doyle. Yay!
Yay! Thank you for having me back.
Oh, God,
Thanks
it was
for
so
the
much
questions.
fun. It was nice to, we love hearing from you all, but it was so nice to see how many people were appreciative of just bringing up the subject of learning to swim as an adult. And Kate, you were great. And as you said, it's been a long time since you're looking at that aspect. But one of the questions actually that came in that I thought was be nice to ask is that it all seemed very well and good that you were learning to swim in the Hard Rock Hotel's pool that is very shallow.
Yes.
And they really liked that idea of being able to get to the water. It was ankles and you were just dabbing. But how do you do that when you're in a swimming pool, a normal swimming pool? How would you do that graduality, I suppose?
It's one of the first questions I ask because people that are inquiring about swimming lessons, they often find that like a barrier because they haven't actually realised that there's no way as a non-swimmer you can really take off from scratch in the deep water. So they're making it like about themselves, and it's actually not their fault. In deep water, it is a barrier. It's a tricky thing to do, but it's not impossible. And with a guide, with a swimming teacher, you can learn to slide into the pool and turn around, hold on to the side. We showed a little bit of that on the clip that we videoed in the pool here the other day. So it's sliding into the pool, getting in and just holding on to the side and then turning around, and it's practicing the slight letting go of the side. But you need some buoyancy aids. So we have the woggles, or we can use inflation jackets and buoyancy jacket. We can get like really cool ones these days for jet skis that are like just like rubber, but don't even look like a buoyancy aid.
Yeah, they're not in the way all the
it
time.
looks kind of just like a sporty vest, a little zip up. My dad has one. We went to the Benevis, the gorge there where you can go swimming, and it is deep water there, and he's not so good. I think I mentioned that the other week, put him in it. But yeah, so you can use these things, and once you put your vest on and you're holding on it, then it's quite easy to practice letting go of the side, but with guidance.
So don't be embarrassed, don't feel that you're alone, and this isn't abnormal, this is a normal reaction if you're not a swimmer.
Everybody.
To feel overwhelmed. I mean, I know that my mum bringing family, the thought of getting her head wet, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
When I was a windsurf instructor, really good, but I didn't want to learn to use the harness because invariably when you use the harness, it flips you over. And the thought of being trapped under the sail and having to get my way out and scrambling out, that was overwhelming. I nearly drowned because of it, because I didn't know how to use a harness. However, that was what stopped me from progressing, was that fear of like, how do I get out from under the sail?
Yeah, it's scary though, isn't it?
It's about learning to hold your breath again as well, isn't it? And
not panic.
Yeah, taking it easy and not panicking and thinking, I can do this. Even having that in your head, that's one of the first things I teach is I can do this. I say this to the children, say, I can't do it. And like, they're just like not breathing. And I'm just like, you can do it. Just like, let's say this together. I can do this. And I said, I tell them about my little boy who had the same thing with riding a bike. He did it himself. He says, I can do this. And he went, and then he did it. Amazing. So we use that in the pool, and it actually just clicks.
I like that. So young and getting that, being able to, I can do this.
Yeah, and
taking
then a
that
deep breath. And then you go from there.
That's so lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got it. You've got all your confidence and your strength inside you. But another thing I was going to say was hold on to the side and do some like treading water while holding onto the side, because that would actually get them used to being upright and having the head above the water. You don't have to put your head in straight away. You don't have to learn how to blow bubbles straight away. It's just step by step. Go easy on yourself.
Is that just get used to the feeling of it?
Yeah.
And then take it step by step.
Yeah.
And just quickly before we go, ocean swimming. What should you? Oh, you're not a swimmer. You're in the ocean. What should we take into consideration when going to the ocean?
Okay, I would just go to the side and just have your feet in the water, and if you've got your bathers on, sit in the water, splash your body, have it up your arms, on your chest, splash your face, and enjoy that experience. And then what's really good, this is so fun, is rolling onto your tummy and walking with your hands.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
nice.
have your legs trailing behind you and just have that experience.
Really
and nobody knows you're not a swimmer at the beach. Everyone's just thinking, oh,
No
look
one
at
cares.
them, what that. No, what everyone's doing their own thing. Just put your chin in the water and just use your arms and let your legs. If you can try and do some kicks, it's actually gorgeous because your body is very buoyant in the water. So as long as it's not too wild with the waves, choose a day when it's not so wild.
Exactly. Be careful with
and
that because there are a lot
enjoy
of
it.
Spain has a lot of undercurrents.
Yeah.
And even in
That's
like in big tourist areas, there are beaches and areas that have these very strong undercurrents.
So what beaches might be better then? Can you think of any that are for that?
Whenever there's a
specifically?
disabled facility, you
Exactly,
can take
at
it that is a
Mistral.
good beach.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Is
So
that
whenever
right?
you had
Okay,
disabled
then.
facilities at a
Mistral.
beach,
Yeah.
you would take it into that would be like a good beach for beginners
What
and
about-
normally for children.
So disability areas are such a good place to go in the water because you can see there's like rows of seats or there's some kind of hoist. So those areas, you know that they're nice and shallow, and especially if there's a lifeguard there present as well.
Exactly. So you know that's a good area for kids if you're not a strong swimmer. And then pay attention to the flags. It's amazing how many people don't pay attention to the flags. And a red flag means don't swim.
Yeah.
Don't get in the water.
Don't get into
I mean,
the water.
I don't
Yeah.
look out for flags.
It's funny we don't, but
Yeah.
they're there for a reason.
I don't even think of any in my mind, like a memory of them.
It's like the yellow car syndrome. Unless you're looking for it, unless
Yeah.
it's come up,
Yeah.
sometimes we're not even aware that it's there.
And try to avoid jet ski areas.
Oh yeah,
you
any
have to
water
look out
sports areas.
for the boys, and try and keep out of those zones. And even at the side of those is better because at least there's actually people around watching these jet skiers,
Yeah.
and you've also got eyes on you. I'd just go where there's plenty of people if you get into trouble.
As you say, Nicole, where there's a lifeguard or somewhere, that's what I
Exactly.
always go to.
Hello, I'm going in now.
Exactly. And do that.
Eyes on
Make
me.
friends with them. Make sure they know. I did that with our kids when we were there. I always make sure that they were aware that they were there. Keep on more eyes the better.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
It is.
I
And it's
know.
just don't leave our brains on the plane. Keep your children where you can see them. And I hate to be dramatic and a scaremonger, but keep your kids where you can see them. There are bad people around, and children, if you're not watching them, it's so please be aware of your kids.
Yeah.
Look out for the flags.
And get those kids in swimming classes as well. I think
Yeah.
that's
And
like-
get those kids
Where-
in swimming
yeah,
classes.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
wear bright costumes as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Bright
gosh.
colours.
Yes. You don't think about that, but if they're in the pool and they're wearing a colour that you can't even see them, yes, bright costumes. Good one to
That's a
finish
really
on.
good point. Yeah.
Bright costumes.
South Central dancing like no.
We hope you found the programme informative and fun. You can watch recordings from 7TV Andalucia's website. You can also go to our website, goodmorningspain.com. Follow us on YouTube, social media, and just join us. We love having you with us. Have a great week. Bye for now. Bye.